Hi, friends. So I'm just here laying on my couch, relaxing because I can. No makeup on, not even my eyebrows, certainly not lashes. All swollen looking and bloated and puffy. And let's just say it's the camera angle, okay? It's Wednesday, but I did not weigh in. I have not really been feeling doing anything about my weight or body lately. Sometimes when I feel this way, I do wind up facing the scale, and it's actually not as bad as I think it's going to be, and sometimes I'm even surprised by a little loss. But I figure, why be masochistic and torture myself if I'm not really working on myself? So I just felt like coming on to say hi, like, oh, natural. It's really cold and windy out. I worked all last night, so I'm trying to take a nap, but I never really can take a nap. And when I do take a nap in the morning or during the day, I wake up feeling really funky, like really emotionally disoriented and kind of out of sorts physically and a little dizzy and nauseous. It's kind of weird. I think working nights really messes with my I was going to say sanity, but that's a little dramatic. It messes with my bipolar. My nurse practitioner warned me about that, but I don't really have a choice right now. These are the shifts that are available to me, and it's decent money when you work overnight, and it's more hours, and it frees up my days for other things. Like tomorrow, I have a dentist appointment at 11. Well, I'm working tonight, but I've got a dentist appointment at 11, and then at 3, I'm getting on a train to go to the city, meeting with my friend Steve. We'll have a bite to eat or a coffee, and then we're going to take a cab or the subway down to the village, and where I'm going to go to the Lillian Vernon House, which is part of the New York NYU's creative writing division, and I'm going to hear the infamous, iconic poet Sharon Olds actually there reading, which for me, as someone who loves writing and poetry, would be like someone who loves music meeting like Robert Plant or I, fill in the blank, some amazing old iconic musician. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. I'm going to therapy today at 2. So there really isn't even time for a nap because it's like 12:12 or so. If I put this phone right down right now, I can take a nap. I might even have food on my mouth. I don't know. I was eating a lot of leftovers today. I had some leftover pesto pasta. I just microwaved a couple of chocolate chip cookies. At least I'm being honest. Sometimes it's almost funny to admit how much you eat when you're not dieting. It's like a mukbang without showing it. So yeah, I need to mail something in like a tube. So I have to go to the post office either before or after my therapy. And there's really nothing else that has to be done. I don't need to grocery shop. I don't need to pick up prescriptions. I don't need to go to the laundromat. I don't even need to stop and buy cat food. So I can actually take a nap later before work if I want to. Um, yeah, things are going okay. What else did I want to mention? I don't know what's happening this weekend, actually. I haven't been given any shifts, and it would be really cool to be off. What kind of breaks my heart is that I can't just get in my car like I used to and drive to see my grandbabies because of my driving restriction. I still need to find my original birth certificate for my probation officer. Actually, he's not my probation officer. He's a probation officer because I'm not actually on probation. It was just a pre-sentencing interview, which actually he said is like a good sign. He said that when you have a slightly complicated case, the judge often adjourns it before sentencing so that you can be interviewed and he can have more of a view of your background as it pertains to alcohol and the events that led up to my binge, which led up to my arrest. And no, that's not an excuse. I'm completely forthright about admitting I'm an alcoholic, but I don't live my life in shame and guilt and secrecy anymore because it happened. I own it. I acknowledge it. It was terrible. It was traumatic for me and for those who care about me. But now I'm doing something about it. I go to meetings and I talk to my sponsor and I read AA literature and I pray and I've reconnected with a higher power. All those cliches that I never thought would ever, ever, ever apply to me. So I came home from work. I did my dishes. I swept up. I cleaned up a little. It felt good. It feels good to work at night but still have some energy during the day to get things done around here. Did all my dishes. I think I said that. Cleaned up my fridge a little, cleaned out my Rubbermaid cabinet because I'm like the stereotypical person that opens up a cabinet to get a plastic container and they all fall down on my head. And I'm like, why do I live this way? Why am I living like some demented, college student that never had a home before? I could make things a lot more easy and streamlined in my life if I just, made things easier for myself. So, like I said, it's really cold and windy out, but it still feels a little bit springy. The days are slowly but surely getting a little bit longer, and the birds are singing in the mornings now, which is cool. I wonder what's going to happen when I watch this back, if I'm going to be like, oh my God, you look and sound terrible. Don't upload this. But I like uploading when I'm just totally being myself and not trying to sound a certain way or look a certain way or have anything necessarily to even say. I wrote a poem this morning. I'll read it to you guys later about roses, the roses I got from Nick that are dying, and all the symbolism which lies within, about how things bloom beautifully for a time and they die, but they still give off their sweetness. Yeah, corny as fuck, but it's actually a pretty decent poem. It's already gotten some good, reviews. My nails, they're like partial gel and partial just regular, so I started to take off the polish. I will either try to get a manicure before I go to the city, or I'll just do them myself, because actually I have to save money. I don't get that loan for another couple of weeks. I don't get paid till next Thursday. And I have to allow for cab money and the subway and the actual train ticket to get there. And then snacks or food or whatever. They're not going to be serving wine or anything like that at the reading, which is good. And it's also good that I'm sort of more or less chaperoned by my friend Steve, who's annoying as hell, but he looks out for me and I love him. Being in the city can be a drinking trigger for me, and I'm still very young in my sobriety this time around, so I almost wasn't going to go unless I had someone to go with me. And he works right down in that area, and he gets out at 5, so it's literally perfect timing, because I'll be getting into Grand Central Station at 5:05. Right now, I have 2 ingrown toenails on my feet. Well, yeah, because toes would be on someone's feet. And I'm kind of disturbed about it because they really hurt. And it doesn't even matter which shoes I wear. They hurt. So I'm not going to be doing a lot of walking in the city anyway. But anyway, I will talk to you guys later. I don't know. Excuse me. I was just in the mood to come on and chit chat, even though I'm exhausted. So I'm going to go now. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Peace out.